Welcome to the Four Seasons here at Jimbaran Bay, Bali. In this video, Navi and I are going to show you around this hotel, this resort, show you what's cool, what we love about it. And if you like this video and find it useful, please give this video a like and subscribe. Let's get on with the tour.
Right from the reception area, down there is where the pool is. This area is a beautiful, intricate, with all the cobblestone, bright color. Currently, we're at Alu restaurant and this is one of the main pool here in Four Seasons. The deepest pool here is 2.4 meter. There is another waterfall pool right on that side, and the longest pool, which you can see from Google, is right over there. This is one of the restaurants in Four Seasons overlooking the sea. It's an amazing location to just chill on your holiday, read a book, sipping on some cocktail. This beautiful beach is Jimbaran area, a very famous place if you want to have your seafood feel while you're here in Bali.
And one of the things that I really like about this resort is the fact that it's in a beautifully landscaped area. So we're right on the bay here, and as part of that, it feels like you're in your own little slice of heaven right by the sea. I mean, look at how beautiful this is. Now, this resort actually was opened over 30 years ago, but it's been refurbished several times. And so everything here that looks a bit old is a bit old. Hopefully, when we get to the rooms, they're not. But we'll have to see about that. But just look how beautiful it is here. And we're right by the waterfall pool here. Let's wander down here and have a look. Which comes from the pool above, and the water comes down. And this is a really nice cozy area, which I can definitely imagine falling asleep and having a little swim in. If you want to have a warm pool, this little pool down here on the bottom of the Alu restaurant is actually heated between 28 and 32 degrees. So it means that even if the rest of the pools are cold, you got a nice heated pool here. Obviously, this isn't a swimming pool, this is more of a get in and chill pool, but it's still heated. And I haven't been to any other resort so far which have had heated swimming pools. We're right by the sea, but look at these beautiful gardens. They look amazing here. You can see there's actually villas overlooking our view here. But you just feel like you're very, very much in your own slice of heaven. And there's monkeys in the decorations here, you can see, which is cool. But unlike the region, which is very much new and been carefully manicured, it's a bit more overgrown and a bit more natural here, which, like I said, this is a much older resort, over 30 years old, so you would expect that. It's got its own charm, definitely.
This is the Coconut Grove area of the Four Seasons, quite far away from the main building, which is way behind me. So you can take buggy if you're from the lobby. They're very helpful, so just let them know where you want to go and the buggy will be ready to take you. In this place itself, they are open right from 7 until 5. If you do want to borrow anything, kayak, bodyboard, you would be able to get it from here, free if you're staying in the Four Seasons. They also have catamaran, and there's so many other things that they have which is available as well here. Depending on the weather, if it's rainy, then probably you won't be able to rent or borrow any of those for safety reasons. Good Good morning. We are currently at Jala, one of the restaurants in the southern part of Four Seasons. This is Jala restaurant. They serve mainly Indonesian food and they have Indonesian music going on. They look amazing. They're little, they're not big, so it feels close-knit. Just listen. I love their songs that going on in the background.
This is Sundara restaurant, which is Asian food, which is only available for lunch and dinner, right on top of the 50-meter pool, right on the beachfront. You can come here and you can either sit outside like I am or inside like the people behind me are. This is the pool right in front of one of the restaurants here at the Four Seasons Jimbaran Bay. We're literally on the seafront. That's the beach down there. And this pool is really long. I think it's 50 meters, so it's almost like an Olympic length swimming pool. So if you want to swim, you can do that, a proper swim here. This is the beach club kind of vibe we have going on here. And like I said, you've got great views of the ocean, and on a beautiful sunny day, I'm sure this looks beautiful. Again, we're here in the rainy season, so maybe it's not as perfect as you could want, but I mean, this pool is very inviting to look at. We got a lovely restaurant here next to us. And we've got, like I said, an amazing view of the beach, and on a hot day, you can go down there because this beach is all a private beach for the Four Seasons. Welcome inside our room. This is a garden villa at the Four Seasons Jimbaran Bay. We've got a big king bed. This is a hard bed, a bit like the Regent actually. I don't know what it is with hard beds, but this is a hard bed. The plugs are in the side here and there's a mosquito net around it. One thing I would say about this is there's lots of gaps between the doors and the window frames which can let insects in. I noticed that too at the Regent, even though the Regent was new. I don't know what that's about. Here in the middle we have the area where you put your luggage, and then we have the cupboard here which has got your tea, your snacks, your coffee machine and your mini bar. And this is on the way to the bathroom, which is through here, and there's some doors that can close there in the middle. And then we come into the bathroom. We're in the bathroom now. We've got a big tub, we've got two dual vanity sinks, and then through here, a bit like one of those Bali gateways, there's a toilet and then there's a shower. In our garden part of our garden villa, we have a table. There's some mosquito repellent here as well, insect repellent. We've got a nice sofa area, there's a light here. We've got two lounger beds which are covered up because it has been raining. And then we have a plunge pool, which looks really, really deep, but reality is only 1.4 meters. So it's a bit of an optical illusion, I guess because it doesn't have a gradual depth, it's just 1.4 meters and that's it. And then we got this view of the bay. So even though this is a garden villa, technically we do have a view of the sea, which is very nice to see. Outside here we have our outdoor shower, Balinese style shower. We've got also our shampoo and soap there. It's a little small area and you can dry your clothes here.
Welcome to their deluxe villa. This is a bigger villa or area than the one that we were just now. This is the living area, still in the same room, however a way bigger. Their king bed, same, that comes with two little table. Now there is a study table right in the middle of the room, which is way bigger than before. The view is way better and clearer than the other one because now you can see the sea. Same as the other one, this is where you put your luggage and stuff, little wardrobe on this right hand side, and we go to the bathroom. There's a big bathtub and the outside shower right over there, big mirror, and this is their sink for hers and him. And behind that is the shower room and the toilet, which sadly is a normal toilet. Hello, this is breakfast in Four Seasons. This is their egg making corner. As you can see, they have many kinds of things. I guess this is their pork belly, bacon and sausage here. Oh, look at this interesting live culture of basil and all their friends. This is their Western breakfast. I guess this is where their vegetarian is, vegetable samosa and all. And that's the view from here. This is their Asian corner. There's a bread and donut right over there. Salad. And because it's Asian, there's dim sum here. There's chicken soup. There's congee corner. This is all the sauce that they have. Tempe, orak-arik, nasi goreng, noodle, their cold cut. Ooh, they have sushi. Hello, they have rolls. And all that. This is the breakfast area. Their luscious garden with fishes on the side and quite big area which have Western, Asian and pastry. We will now walk to their pastry room. There's so much pastry. Lemon curd fin, plain croissant, chocolate croissant, almond croissant. Wow! Muffin, strawberry called Danish. Strawberry Danish. Chocolate chip. And their ice cream. French pancake. Fruit and yogurt. Hello. So what do we think about staying in Four Seasons Jimbaran Bali? We'll start with what Oliver has to say.
So first of all, I think that this place is a very beautiful resort. Now, I don't think it's as beautiful as the Four Seasons in Koh Samui. That was more beautiful, and I'm sure Navi will tell you what she thinks in a second. I think the rooms are better than in the Four Seasons Koh Samui, but I also think there are some issues. We'll talk about that in a second. This room here, as you can see, we've got a lovely pool, so it's very nice. But there are some weird choices, and part of those choices, I think, are to do with the age of the hotel, because like I said, it's over 30 years old, and it's had a few refurbs, but it's showing signs of wear and tear. There were some odd decisions. However, what I can't argue with. It's a beautiful location. We got an amazing view of the bay here. Everyone, the staff are really friendly and lovely, and our breakfast was great as well. And it's just a beautiful place. And the bed is super comfy. Weirdly, it's a hard bed. At least it feels hard, but when you get in it, it's super comfy. And Navi likes the big pillows, don't you?
Yes, I did.
So really comfortable bedding, and overall, really enjoyed our night here. What do you think, Navi?
Yeah, I do love the view that we have here. Again, like Oliver said, it's similar with Koh Samui, but Koh Samui kind of located in a hilly places. Even though it is hilly here, it doesn't
like
really
a
have
jungle
that.
there, right?
Yeah, so it's a level down from that.
And also worth mentioning, the cost of this resort is around £500 a night, depending on when you're staying. We're in the off-peak season now, so the weather's a bit iffy. As you can see, it's been raining on and off, and some of our footage it's raining and some of it isn't. So it's less expensive. During peak season, it gets more expensive. There are different kinds of villas and rooms, including the residences, which are like 4 and 5 bedroom villas. I mean, they're all villas, but they're like really big villas, which are actually the other side of the road. Strangely, not on the beach side, which is a bit strange, but anyway. And there are lots of restaurants and places around here where you can eat. Like literally, you can walk down the beach here, and you've got tons of seafood places as well. And 5-minute walk away there's a Starbucks, for example. So there's stuff around here, and just like everywhere in Bali, it's really easy to get Grab or Gojek to get around. In terms of what I don't like I said, it's the age of the rooms. The first villa we went to was far more worn out. It looked less tidy, less clean.
Yes, it has a bit of smell as well, the old smell.
Yeah.
Not necessarily unpleasant smell, but you can sort of smell the old wood,
Yes,
I guess.
This villa has a tiny bit of smell too, but it's not as bad. And again, this is down to the age of it. But like everything's a lot nicer in this villa, this deluxe villa. So I would say, garden villa is fine, but I would say maybe you want to go up to a deluxe villa to get a better experience. Although we have found 3 cockroaches in this room while we've been here. Who knows if they would have been in the other room too? I don't know. I mean, we're in a tropical place, there are cockroaches, but I think Navi would probably say that there aren't cockroaches in her place, are there?
No.
So again, what do you think about that? Should there be any cockroaches? I would say no. Not our first encounters with cockroaches on this trip. Where was the other cockroach?
Trip? It was in W.
In the W. There was one cockroach in the W.
It was a big one.
But as I said in the W video, I felt the W villas and everything were really, really clean. They're like, when did I say that it was open, like 2011, I think. So they're still like 10, 15 years old. And there are a few signs of a little bit of wear and tear there, but overall it looks really, really good and everything's really clean. I had no concerns about cleanliness there. I have a few concerns here, and I think it's just down to the age. There are other few strange decisions. This swimming pool is supposedly 1.4 meters, although it looks like it's deeper one end than the other end depending on where you're standing.
Yes.
And in the middle, if you stand in the middle, it looks like it's like a bowl shaped.
Yes.
But even if we go by the logic that is definitely down to an optical illusion, the weird thing which doesn't make sense is the steps. There's 2 little steps and then there's like a drop like that to the bottom. Like, why would you not put more little steps? That's a huge drop. You're gonna catch your leg when you're getting in and out of the pool.
Yeah, probably kick your leg on it.
It's weird. Why did they do that? Also, the other thing too is the main pool, which is in front of the Alu restaurant, is 2.4 meters or something,
Yes.
which is a deep pool. If you like swimming, that's great. The pool underneath it, the waterfall pool, is like 1.2, and the really big 50-meter long pool is like 1.4.
I think.
So that was standable often. But if you look at new resorts, they all have really shallow pools, and you might like that, you might not like that. Personally, I prefer a pool that I can stand in. I don't have to actually physically, have to worry about swimming if I'm not a great swimmer, which I'm not. The long pool in front of that restaurant,
Sundara.
it's just not as nice. Even though it's on the beach, it just doesn't feel as nice as, for example, the Four Seasons Samui pool.
It's fun, more fun.
Yeah.
Nicer view in front of the pool, so it's more inviting for you to want to hang out around there. Where here, it's kind of outside, right, baby? And so it feels more public.
Yeah, it does. I suppose all the beaches here are public though in Bali, right, aren't they?
Yes.
And the other thing too is, look, the airport doesn't bother me, but we are literally in front of the airport and you can see planes taking off and landing. Again, it shouldn't bother you, but if you're really grumpy, you might complain about it. Person on TripAdvisor who complained about that. So there is that. Overall, Four Seasons gives me very mixed feelings because I feel like both here in Koh Samui,
Yes.
like the rooms really kind of let them down. This is better than Koh Samui, but they kind of let them down. But then when I compare it to Bangkok Four Seasons, that is amazing, beautiful, perfect rooms, super clean. Of course, that is a brand new development,
Yes.
but still, it just seems the consistency is a bit all over the place, which is a shame. It's like I'd like to know that every Four Seasons I go to has a beautiful modern, yeah, which is kind of how I feel. But I feel a bit like that too with some of the Marriott brands, right? So if you go to a W, I think you can be sure that you're going to get a modern, nice, clean room. But if you go to St. Regis, as you saw in our St. Regis video, you might get a room which is really nice, assuming it's an older resort, of course, or you might get a room which is a bit smelly, a bit like the Four Seasons. So I think, you know, you have to think about the brands a bit. And of course, if you pay for the most expensive room, then you probably don't have a problem. But if you pay for the entry room, that's when you maybe have the problem. So overall, and I'll let you finish up in a second, Novi, but like overall, I think this is a lovely resort. Everyone's really friendly. The bed is super comfortable. The shower is nice and powerful. We slept really well. Breakfast was enjoyable as well. We had a nice breakfast. It's just, again, another Four Seasons which is let down a bit by the room and some design features, just like Koh Samui, in my opinion. Do you have anything you want to add, Novi?
Well, not really, because Oliver have everything, I think, but I do have to agree with him. I do love the swimming pool, the fact that they have everything for everybody, and the swimming pool, the waterfall swimming pool is lovely. It's picturesque. As a girl, it makes me feel like I want to make a lot of, you know, short video, little video in there, because that's just how pretty it is. And I do love the fact that they're in Jimbaran, but once you come into the resort area, it's quiet, it's tranquil. It makes you feel like you are in a private, quiet area which is away from the hustle bustle life in Bali with all its traffic. Now it's time for Uncharted Score. Value 3 out of 5. Overpriced for the pricing. The room felt bare and finding roaches really ruined the premium vibe. Room 3 out of 5. Sparsely decorated, I guess. Kinda naked and dog heavily due to the pest issue. 4 out of 5. Fantastic resort layout, huge property with tons of pool, sports and activity to enjoy. Food 5 out of 5. Exceptional, diverse and delicious option between breakfast and the restaurant. Service 4 out of 5. Standard, high quality Four Seasons service. Professional, kind and accommodating staff.
Okay, well, thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed this video. Check out our other videos.
Here, here and here.
And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.